All right, welcome back. And speaking of skimming what the dailies have for you this Monday morning, we'll be looking at the different dailies that we have. And we start with what the PD is holding for you today with the main header on issue on basically what is happening in KEMSA, whereby it says that most of KEMSA workers may not be allowed back. This is what the CEO is now saying, citing the fact that there was lack of proper qualifications, and also those that were promoted, that was done in not the correct way. She says that it was not in the right procedure. So this means that out of the already existing 900 employees at the national suppliers, 559 may just end up losing their jobs, because out of that number, it's only 341 who are eligible to work, in essence, who are promoted in the right way and who got those jobs in the right way. So that is what is happening, or basically that is what is the latest there when it comes to the audit that is being done at KEMSA. Also, showdown expected as Huduma Number is now set for its third reading before Parliament, whereby the Speaker Justin Muturi is expected to release a ruling on the same. Remember, there had been issues of it being unconstitutional, as it was cited by the Garissa Town MP, that is Aden Duale, as well as civil society groups and also the NGO. They had posed perhaps cited issues of it being unconstitutional. So we expect to see how the National Assembly Speaker is going to rule on that, whether it's actually whether he's going to pass it as unconstitutional as it were, or bring some, or basically pass some other ruling on the same. So that is also what is happening when it comes to the Huduma Number bill. And obviously, just going by what the IEBC has been doing for the past weeks in terms of clearance of aspirants, and this is what we have on the latest when it comes to the presidential aspirants. At least so far, we know that 5 have already been cleared. Today, IEBC is expected to meet 3 more other aspirants. If at all they get cleared, then that would mean that we'll be having a total of 8 presidential candidates. If not, then it still remains at 5 who have so far been cleared. And even as this is happening, Third Way Alliance presidential aspirant was disqualified yesterday, citing issues of not meeting the basic requirements of the 48,000 signatures, as well as presenting copies of IDs. And in his statement, he said that, in fact, it was unrealistic for IEBC to ask of that from the candidates. He also said that in 2017, when he was vying, he was not asked of the same source. So he's just wondering why IEBC would be asking of that. And he also further on said that he's actually taking the matter to court today. So we're to see how that will pan out. And also, don't fall for street pledges. This is what Clergy is now cautioning Kenyans. They say that Kenyans need to be very careful, even as they scrutinize what these political leaders will be telling them. This is also coming at a time whereby we expect to hear the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya manifesto, which is expected to be presented today. So that is how the PD is looking like this Monday morning. Victor.
Right, so let's take it from there. On the front page of the Star newspaper, Raila's 10-point beef with IEBC include the register, identification of voters and transmission of results. Odinga asks electoral agency to clear the air ahead of the general election. That's what's the front page of the Star newspaper here. Jobless nurse who is 26 years old, who worked as city carpenter, hired in Kisumu County as a nurse. Details shortly. Ruto comes in Kiambu, heads to N.Eastern for week-long campaign. And lastly, Wanjigi, Odinga betrayed me as we planned big march to State House. Moving on to the second page, 11 die in Kitui crash. A survivor says that Matatu was speeding and overloaded, says that the vehicle was making its last trip from Bondoni and no one wanted to be left behind. He said that speaking at Kitui Level 4 Hospital, where he is admitted, the said victim said that the 14-seater Matatu was also overloaded. The accident happened minutes after 10 p.m. near the Roads Department camp on Kitui Kanyonyo Road, just off Thika Mwingi Garissa Highway. All right, Nyong hires jobless nurse who struggled as carpenter. Onditi's plight was highlighted on TV last year, catching attention of Kisumu boss, but then now his case was now forwarded to the county board, who quickly, who raised the concern with the governor. And later on, they said carpenter was invited for a job interview where Governor Nyong'o said that he performed very well. And the story says that much as this gentleman called Onditi, so to get the right name there, Geoffrey Onditi worked as a carpenter, and at some point he would have a locum at a local hospital here in Nairobi, and during the day he was a carpenter, and right now he has been given a contract by the Kisumu County government. Raila's 10-point beef with IEBC. This is something that we are going to unpack later on in the Eye on Politics. Of course, some of the issues raised concerning revolve around the integrity of the voter register, identification of voters, and transmission of results. So stick around for that. We have got two analysts, advocates of the High Court. That is Kevin Katisia as well as Nordin Kakai. Ruto comes in N.Eastern in week-long campaigns. Of course, this is going to be in an attempt to collect views in Garissa and Wajir as he continues with his bottom-up economic model as part of his campaign strategy. So that is part of what we'll be discussing later on in Eye on Politics. Jen.
All right, let me now run you through the front page of the Daily Nation, starting with that story that I had mentioned earlier on in the intro, where Kenya Power says they have run out of transformers. And this story has been covered here on the back page of the Daily Nation. Kenya Power is grappling with a biting shortage of transformers that threatens to disrupt electricity transmission throughout the country. They are saying they are amid procurement woes and they're struggling within the utility firm. So according to engineers, they say they cannot replace their faulty transformers, and they are compelled to take them out, take them to their take them for repairs, and this consequently takes lengthy periods. So they are warning that so many people are going to be going without electricity for long periods, as some of these transformers that are faulty are taken for repairs, as they cannot just be replaced like that. They go on to say that transformers are expensive and we can't just replace them with new ones because they are faulty. Now, according to data from Kenya Power, they show that on average, each customer in a month goes without power supply for at least 4 hours and 3 minutes. And we all know, at least in a month, a day or two, you do not have power. But according to this data, it is at least 4 hours within a month that each customer who is under Kenya Power goes without power. And they are looking at a figure of about 8.27 million people who are connected through Kenya Power. Now, they say they are seeking to buy some 2,144 transformers, and they are still looking to acquire at least another 6,000 more in order to address the crisis that is in the country. But as it stands, that is the situation. Away from that, still on matters to do with financial shortages, Kenya Railways on the spot for 1 billion SGR payments. Story has also been covered here on the back page of the Daily Nation. This is in regards to payments that were made out to individuals who were affected by the construction of the SGR, where their lands had to be acquired by the state. So lawmakers have given the Kenya Railways Corporation 3 months to recover 1 billion Kenya shillings that it is said to have paid as compensation to faceless individuals that were affected by the building of the SGR. And this is so because this 1 billion cannot be accounted for, as it was paid out to individuals whose identity cards cannot be found, which are part of the documents that were required to verify these individuals. They needed their identity cards, their PIN certificates, and title deeds that were surrendered from the National Land Commission. But according to this particular story, 1 billion cannot be accounted for due to these records missing. So they have been given 3 months to recover this money, or else I'm pretty sure that will now proceed on from that particular point, legally speaking. Away from that, coming to the main read on the front page of the Daily Nation, a race like no other. Pictured therein, we have Deputy President William Ruto and the Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga. They say that the political posturing between Ruto and Raila is a game of smoke and mirrors that pits claim of incumbency against two men whose pasts are poles apart. They go on to compare the journey of Ruto's journey, politically speaking, as well as Raila Odinga, where they say Ruto was actually groomed by the late President Moi, while Raila Odinga was actually detained by the same regime, consequently pitting them as individuals that are poles apart, and yet now here they are face to face, eyeing the same seat. These and so much more will be coming up in our political segment, just understanding where we currently stand, given they have both been cleared to vie in this year's presidential race. That is all that has been covered on the front page of the Daily Nation. Regina.
Now we start off with stories that are making headlines across the world. According to this particular daily, is that 49 persons were killed and hundreds hurt in Bangladesh. Blast there, and according to this particular report, this happened at a storage depot near the city of Chittagong, Bangladesh, and hundreds of people had arrived to tackle the fire when a number of shipping containers exploded at the site in Sitakunda. Industrial fires are common in Bangladesh and are often blamed to poor safety regulations. We're going to be keeping tabs on that. And also across in Britain, now, Prime Minister Boris Johnson could face a vote of no confidence in Parliament over a scandal. And as Parliament resumes today, we're going to be keeping tabs on that, especially focusing on Sir Graham Brady when Parliament returns today. There's been a lot of controversy around how the Prime Minister has been handling himself, especially with the COVID-19 situation. And according to sources, is that he might not actually survive. But yes, we have seen many a times him put on the spot and still holds strong. So that's just but a sneak peek of what has been happening across the world. So let me bring you back to the local politics. And with 64 days to the August 9th polls, and IEBC there with just under 24 hours to clear those who are going for electoral seats ahead of the August 9th polls, doubts have been cast by politicians as well as other bodies in regard to the IEBC's preparedness ahead of the elections. Now, yesterday, under the umbrella Angaza movement, 10 civil societies urged IEBC, or rather argued that IEBC was not ready, and they cited interference of voters' register, fairness of procurement of election materials, watertight electoral technology, ambiguity of the elections calendar, and non-gazettement of polling stations, among others. These particular issues that were raised, we've also seen while Azimio La Umoja flag bearer Raila Odinga also put into question the issue of the voters register there. We're going to be keeping tabs on that at the time when the chair, Chebukati, there maintains that it's all systems go and that the body is ready to conduct free and fair elections come August 9th. So today we're expecting that Azimio La Umoja is going to be unveiling its manifesto that is, they expect is going to propel them to government after the August 9th polls. The 10-point manifesto is going to be put into perspective as they look at matters politics in not too long. But also still keeping up with what is happening in as far as Azimio is concerned is that we have seen political parties go to a word loyalist, and some of the beneficiaries of this under Azimio is none other than Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, that is President Richard Ngatia, whose political lifeline got a lease of life after he was appointed to lead the National Azimio La Umoja campaign team, basically so that he can target the business community. Further, one of the others that has benefited, so to speak, is none other than Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu, who is going to be heading the Nairobi campaign team. Remember, all those remember former governor aspirants actually stepped down last month and announced the support for Azimio candidate Polycarp. So as we wait to see what, the manifesto is all about in regard to matters of Azimio. Well, that is what is happening, somewhat, getting their rewards for loyalty and choosing to stand by Azimio la Umoja. Azimio to unveil manifesto today. That's a main read and main focus in as far as matters of politics are concerned. We're also going to be keeping up with activities being conducted by the IEBC, given that the deadline that has been gazetted is the 7th of June, and today being the 6th. Well, we know it's a rush against time there. That's just but a sneak peek onto what we have on this particular daily this morning. I'm Regina Manyara. I leave in the able hands of my colleagues, that is Victor Olo and Doreen Arange, to bring us up to speed with what is happening on our major roads, being a Monday morning and the 6th of June 2022. 64 days to go to the August polls. Have a pleasant viewing.